gentlemen, back by popular demand.
Yes. Unanimous.
Demand.
Yeah, by demand. Back by the demanding urge.
Yeah.
We're back. Here we are.
Oh, God.
Big Human Dead.
Yeah.
I'm Rob Ayers, and with us here, as always, is Buddy Black, Neil McKay, Johnny Nightstick.
Yeah. And I finally figured out my audio issues, which is super embarrassing. Because, oh, man.
Yeah.
Rob's recording on his iPhone with this bullshit microphone. And
it's true. I've got this 1970s black foam ball in my face, like a reporter from the 70s, and
he just slips it into a coffee mug.
Yes.
So it's right below his beard, basically.
Yeah. And I watch you
with this. I got like a $300 mic in this whole mixing board and this whole
on a stand that
setup
that juts out at your face
setup.
at a 90-degree angle. It's crazy.
And I was having all sorts of difficulties the last couple of weeks. So I'm just this time I've just plugged a speaker cord into a potato, and and then the other end of the speaker cord is actually just resting between the pages of the Bible, and I sound a lot better today.
Yeah,
so I don't know what's
good.
going on. I don't know what's going on here. Anyways,
yes.
If you could make out my mush mouth. It sounded like my mouth was full of computer chips last week. But if you could, unless we fixed it, I don't know.
I think we did the best we could. I think
we did the best we could.
I think it might be THX certified by the time it gets out to the people.
Yeah,
possibly.
I mean,
I'm not mixed master Mike, but I think we did between your efforts and my efforts. I hope we didn't lose too many ghouls and girls. So I think we're good. I think it's all right.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're going to move on to comics for a couple of weeks and just talk about some titles. I realized just moments ago that we are on the cutting edge of nothing. Hey Rob, I have this idea that we're gonna talk about movies that that we really like and whatever, and we'll discuss their themes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Rob's like, oh yeah, let's do Beastmaster. It's like, yeah, that's an excellent idea. So if
it's true, yeah, because there was such a public outcry for a definitive rundown on Beastmaster and Season of the Witch. And Martin and Red. These are the four movies that were really burning into people's psyches.
Yeah. So if some I don't know, borderline personality introvert from 1983 were to travel forward in time.
Imagine.
And then troll the bottom of the podcast barrel.
Yes. And
they would find our Beastmaster podcast and be so happy.
The future is exactly what I wanted it to be. Everything turns out okay. That would be gold.
Anyways, so keeping in line with to
keep in line with our ahead of the pack standards. We're going
to discuss a comic book that was published exactly 21 years ago.
That has been discussed and studied 100 times over.
100 times over. It's still a great book.
It's one of my favorites.
I really don't give a shit. I love this podcast. I'll do it until I die. I think it's great. Anyways, Black Hole by Charles Burns.
I love this book so much.
It's really good. So the last couple of weeks, Rob and I just sort of took a break from discussing ghost movies or whatever it is, and we focused on individual movies, and there was Beastmaster and Season of the Witch, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
As we're getting closer to like getting ready to like explode our comic book, the story on the road to Waterloo, onto the world, we just want to talk about some comics that basically we really like, and that's actually the thing I love the most about this podcast is that we're not hashtagging trending events. Really, no, I'm serious. Like we're not like, we're just talking about shit that we like, which I think is fun. Anyways. So yeah, Black Hole by Charles Burns.
Yes.
12-part book.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that sorry, go ahead. What are you going to say?
I was going to say that I didn't catch this book when it came out in single issues. I was actually really slow on the draw with this one because I mean, it's been out for a while. Like it came out a little while ago, and I'd always heard about it and this and that, and then finally like this compendium of it came out, and I think this is probably the most popular one. Like the big tome with the black and white cover with the red bands on it, and I had a friend who had it, and I read his copy, and I went insane with it, and then I didn't buy it. It was really kind of weird. Like I would see it in the store, and it was always so big, and it actually cost a little more than I ever wanted to pay. I mean, which it's only $20, but still, like I would go into the comic shop and I would have $10 with me, or I would have, at the most I would have $17 for a graphic novel, for a trade paperback. And so I always thought, okay, I'll get that next time. And really like years went by. And then finally, Cassia, my girlfriend, amazingly just bought it for me for my birthday. Yeah. And I've read it. I can't tell you how many times I've read it since then. It's incredible. And I've read it, beforehand as well. I've always kept stealing my friend's copy of it. But yeah, what was your first encounter with this book?
Well, I was gonna say like kind of like actually like I don't know. I don't want to sound conceited, but actually kind of like listening to cool music. Like growing up, none of my friends really read comic books or really listened to cool music, and that's the reason I bring up the parallel. So like at a certain point, I think around like 15 or 16, after I had a job, I would actually, and this was we were like in the stone ages of the internet.
Yeah.
Maybe more like the bronze ages of the internet by that point. Like I would have to go online and actually look up stuff and do whatever. So, like I've read a bunch of stuff, but I didn't really come across Black Hole, I don't think, until I was in college. Mm-hmm. And I read it, and like it was fantastic, but it was like, especially when I was in college, I didn't have any money whatsoever. So after a couple of years, like after that, you forget about it, and then you remember it again when you're at the comic book store. And I think I bought a copy and I lent it to somebody, and then I never got it back. Whoa. So recently I actually just bought it on my freaking, I don't know, my 10-year-old tablet. So I've just been, so it's on there forever now. I can't lend it out to anyone, but man, reading comic books on a tablet is the pits.
Yes, like I've never done it yet. I have yet to join the future. I
was trying to explain to my wife, like, why it's so bad, because I don't know. My wife is one of these purists, at least when it comes to like like novels, where it's like I can't read it on a tablet. It's like it's the same thing. Like it's just but like whereas in a comic, like it matters where everything lands on the page. Yeah. And so reading it on the tablet wasn't as fun as reading it in that giant tome book form. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like it's still a phenomenal story. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, it's basically about the senior class of a high school in California.
That's Seattle.
Oh, it is Seattle. Yeah. Sorry, it is Seattle. Yeah. I'm a goose. Yeah. Sorry, it is Seattle. Washington.
Uh-huh. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. You corrected me on the state
Yeah.
by saying the name of a city. So
You're welcome.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah, in Seattle. Sorry, Rob, it was
Right.
Seattle.
Seattle,
Not
Washington,
not
in the
not
United States of
California.
America, in the North
Yeah,
North
Earth.
American hemisphere.
Yeah, North America, Earth.
Yeah, Western Hemisphere.
Who whenever any one of them has sex with another one, basically, they develop sort of this grotesque mutation.
Right.
And it's not like X-Men, like they don't shoot lasers or anything out of them. It's just,
right.
One guy's got a messed up face.
Yeah, and if you have sex with a person who has a mutation, then you got it now too.
Yeah.
But one thing I thought was interesting is like he never set it up as like an STD, even though that would be the easiest comparison. I feel like it was more clearly just some kind of analogy for transition, or a grotesque transition.
Yeah.
But he never played up the STD theme. I don't even think it's mentioned actually in the whole book. It's just if you have sex with someone like that, then you're screwed. You're going to have that, and you get mocked, or you have to run away into the woods. But it's never treated as an STD. It's more of like a real disease. Not that STDs aren't real, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, and I think that's the I don't know. Everything in this book is just sort of so benign, really.
Right.
Like everything is just pretty downplayed, and it's just way more about atmosphere. It's really well done.
Yeah.
But and then
did you ever worry about something like this?
Sorry?
I was just wondering, since you're a big rock star there in Toronto, Canada, I always wondered if you worried about this kind of thing. If you're all junked up from all your groupies and things like that.
Like, growing a mouth in my neck or something like that.
Yeah. Can you actually sleep with enough fans and groupies that might be a concern? I don't know how wild the Toronto sex scene, rock and roll scene is, but I can imagine it gets pretty bonkers.
I've had one groupie and I married her.
Oh, right on.
So yeah. But it's always a concern.
Even to this day, I still flinch before looking in the mirror.
Yeah, you really never know.
Right on.
But it was so there's just this let's, for the sake of simplicity, let's just call it an STD. So there's this STD.
Yeah.
And then kind of really nothing happens.
No.
Some people like some other people.
Yeah, the main focus is on these four. There's Keith, Chris, Rob, and Eliza or Eliza.
Mm-hmm.
However you want
However
and they all
read it. Yeah.
And it's cool that they it's not like here's our quintuplet or our quartet. That was almost as graceful as one of my segues. Here's our quartet of characters. Let's see what happens. It's more like it's very natural, and again, like you said, benign.
Mm-hmm.
Where Keith is kind of the main focus, or he gets the lion's share of the attention of the pages, and he's just this. He's a senior in high school. He hangs out with friends. He has a crush on Chris. She weaves in and out a little bit, and we see she has a crush on Rob. Then
mm-hmm.
and Eliza comes in way later when Keith is at a picking up trying to get score some dope with his friends,
mm-hmm.
and so it's all very it's all disjointed. It's like super. I don't know, like to just lay it out like that in words. It sounds completely ridiculous to make a story like that, but it's pure for sure realistic. Like that's just how you meet people. And he nails it perfectly where you have a crush on this person, but you're hanging out with these friends and then you go over, you do this, you meet, oh, wow, who's that? I want to know more about them, but you're not going to see them for another 2 weeks because whatever reason, you're not in that circle of friends. And it makes it all so compelling because I'm anxious for Keith to get back into a situation, just to get into a situation where he might see Eliza again. And it's not even him seeing her. I'm anxious for him to just get into into that sphere, that hemisphere where he could see her, and you get that feeling like I did in high school of maybe I'll see her there, or who do I have to hang out with to where I might get to that person's house and see that person.
Yeah, and it's just even the way that it's that it's drawn as well. It just sort of looks like almost like a satanic Archie book in a way. Like
right.
it's just super dark and it's black and white, and it's again, like, it's really, really well done.
Yeah.
But so you just know that something's going to happen.
Right.
Like,
incredibly clean lines everywhere.
Yeah. And when something super fucked up does happen, like there's a tipping point basically, where something super fucked up. Well, it's 21 years ago, I think. Rob gets murdered, like straight up, like super duper murdered.
Extra huge globs of murder just piled all up on his face.
Crazy. That's sort of the tipping point, and everything just sort of gets fucked up from there.
Yeah.
Not that it wasn't fucked up before, but you sort of realize how petty these sort of mutations were before, because then something super fucked up like that happens, and none of that just really seems to matter any longer.
Right.
And then by the end of the book, I can't remember his name. There's the kid with like the cat face looking dude.
Oh, right. Schroeder or something. Maybe not Schroeder.
I don't know if it was Schroeder. But it was something like Schroeder.
Yeah.
Anyways, he shoots everybody.
Yeah.
And Chris has killed herself.
Right.
I think she attempted suicide. I think that was the idea.
Yeah.
She attempted suicide,
and then
nobody helps her, but I think she manages to get out of there.
Right. And in
the end of the book isn't super clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Her ending is really cool. I'm looking at it now. I had to refresh my brain. I don't know if, yeah. It's a little ambiguous, like whether or not, but I like throughout the whole book, she's not the most sympathetic character.
No.
But then I feel like she has maybe the greatest character arc as well. Like she really goes through some ups and downs in this book. And it's not like I don't know. If I went on about it would just be rambling. But that's another thing with this book. Like these characters go through their arc, but it's a very realistic arc. Like people don't actually change so much in a short amount of time. Like we change, a little bit over a long period of time, depending on, how rough the experiences we have are. And that's also depicted here in this book. It's not so clean, or there's no, perfectly measured bow of character arcs for anybody.
Yeah, it's not the hero's journey. You know what I mean? Like that's for sure. And then after Schroeder, kills everybody. Keith and Eliza and a couple of other people just steal a car and get out of there.
Did they go with some other people?
That's basically.
I thought they went alone.
They take a couple of other people, and then I think they drop them off.
Oh, right.
A while out of there, and then Then after that they leave. They
Yeah.
just flee.
Right.
And then that's that.
And so things aren't all
And
cheery for them. Like they have a good, like a happy ending, but like that's not really an ending. Like they still have a stolen car and they have no job. They don't know what the fuck they're going to do,
Yeah.
but they're at least happier than they were. And I think that's
Yeah.
a really awesome ending for those characters.
Yeah, and like you were saying too, like this book is almost in every single comic book,
Yeah, comic book store.
study class,
Mm-hmm.
like in every college level comic book analysis class, like Black Hole is studied for the most part,
Right.
anyways. And I know that a lot of people have thrown a lot of different shit out about kind of what this STD is supposed to represent or what it's a metaphor for, and I don't really like it being a metaphor for anything. Like I'm totally cool with the fact that
Yeah, just the way
some
that world
people
is.
someone had a chicken face, chickeny looking face for a couple of years, and then it went away. Like, because I think that just justifies, living out in the woods. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or having to run away from home for whatever reason.
Right.
Like, I think that makes the most sense for me, anyways. But
Totally.
yeah. But you were saying that you like to think that it's sort of a metaphor just for transition.
Yeah. No, I actually don't care about what it's a metaphor for. Like I enjoy it just as on its own merits, as if like it's. One of my favorite things about the book is that Charles Burns presents it just so matter of factly that there's these people that have this thing. If you have sex with one of them, now you have that thing, and this is going to change your life. And now now you just deal with it. That's the way life is for these people in this world. And I really dig that it's and I was only saying that the transition thing just because I think he was pushed into saying it in an interview that the mutations are a metaphor for it could be for sexual awakening, for transition of any kind, for teens becoming adults. Like he himself has never actually said STD, but the common interpretation is transition. Like if I have to subscribe to a philosophical whatever,
which is what I am asking you to do.
Yeah.
Like
then I burn my draft card. I'm out of here, motherfucker.
Yeah. Typical.
Yeah. Typical. No, but anyways, I really like that. Yeah. I like the directness of it.
No, and I just wanted to say real fast before we talk about any other aspect of it, I guess, that this movie was supposed to be, I think it's been optioned to be a feature-length film for a really long time.
Yeah, since like 2005 or something at least.
Yeah. And it really hasn't got anywhere. However, for those of you who don't know, a cat named Rupert Sanders, and we'll put a link to this in our thing.
Yeah.
Did a short film. It's 11 minutes long, and it's just sort of like a kind of a mashup between the last.
Yeah, like a few
almost
heavy
like
beats.
The last like the last two huge story beats in the series. It's on his website, and we'll post the link too. It's super cool.
Yeah, I would be happy with him just making the full length adaptation. I never saw his what's the one with Kirsten Stewart where he made it's Huntsman in the Woods or he made a movie for Disney, a live action movie for Disney. Broke up the Kristen Stewart Robert Pattinson couple.
Yeah,
that
and
devil.
as we established in previous episodes,
Yes.
you're on Team Edward. So
damn it! Why does this have to come back up?
You brought it up.
That's true. It's just in my nature now. But yeah, like I never would have guessed that he was the dude who made that movie, the Disney movie, because this
Mhm.
11-minute black hole short film, I was so thrilled with it. I loved it. I was really happy with it. I think he really got it.
No, he definitely did, and it's I think this was maybe like one of the only times in recent history, anyways, where like I actually really enjoyed seeing
Mm-hmm.
the characters come to life on the screen, whereas every other time, in at least again like in recent history before where that's happened, it's just been really kind of depressing and anticlimactic.
It's true.
You know.
Who?
It's like, oh, okay, they're making a Lone Wolf and Cub movie, cool. And I go, oh, okay, Bruce Willis is Lone, or whatever. I don't, you know.
Bruce Willis in a
It's
CGI
retarded.
baby. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Bruce Willis and a Jack Russell fight a submarine full of terrorists.
Yeah, but Jack Russell talks.
Yeah, I'd see that movie for sure.
Yeah,
actually.
I would go see that as well.
Let's not call it the Green Arrow, but like, you know, let's.
Let's call it like
You know.
Hudson Hawk, the prequel.
Yeah, that's how we got to. That's how we got to Hudson Hawk.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were to
Um,
make if you were to produce, let's say that
Okay.
you're the producer, you got whatever resources you need for this, and you know the Charles Burns has the rights to Black Hole, and he comes to you and says, "Hey, Mr. Nightstick, I want to trust you with this project. You put it together. You put together the cast, the director, whomever, whatever you want. What's your
Yeah.
next step?"
Well, like, what's my next step?
Yeah, what do you do? Like, who do you call? Who are you putting in these positions? What's going on?
Oh, well, like I'd probably call like
Your mom.
I'd ask my wife first if it was okay. Like, like if I'm allowed. Like this is gonna take up a lot of my time.
Right.
Is this okay? But yeah, no, I know what you mean. I don't know. I really like David Fincher because
Mhm.
I mean David Fincher is just amazing, anyways. But I
He
really
was-
like David Fincher.
Yeah, he was attached to make an adaptation of this actually.
Yeah, he was, and I was thinking more about that a little bit. I'm like, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
I don't know.
This
No, I'll save my comments for my side.
okay. This is gonna be a really unpopular opinion. Like, you're not gonna like this answer. But I would actually consider seeing if Steven Spielberg would want to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to think about that for a second. I love it. Green light.
His whole thing is about making stories about lost boys.
It's true. And he
Like that's just his MO.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't make any other type of movie other
that's a
than
good
that.
point. And he knows how to
So-
put those lost boys in an atmosphere that's palpable.
Yeah, and it's, you know,
Alright.
I'm sure there could be cooler, more rock and roll answers than Steven or Steve.
Or Steve. Or Ven,
Steve
as
Spielberg.
you affectionately call him sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a solid choice. I have a choice as well that we'll get to in a second. It's not as in depth, or like it's not Steven, but it's for the same reasons.
And yeah, as far as like like the main four,
Yeah.
the main four cast, it's a really boring answer again. I would just cast complete and total unknowns. Like,
All right.
just like almost kids with almost no acting experience whatsoever.
Right.
Like, outside of like whatever high school play or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would absolutely do that.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think that would add to like a grittiness or
Yeah.
an authenticity that, and you and I have discussed this before, like, bad acting
Mhm.
can actually add a lot to a movie.
Yeah.
And it isn't to say that just by hiring unknowns they're automatically going to be bad, but there would be a rawness and an authenticity with just like found on the street type kids as opposed to like
totally
casting from the fucking Disney Channel.
That would also add like a tabula rasa aspect of it, where we can kind of project our own realities or expectations or childhoods on those faces that we don't recognize.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that makes Black Hole so good, is that it's so like the characterization is super realistic. And so like to have actors that we'd never seen before I think that would be a pretty sharp idea, because we would, we can project easier onto them instead of having any kind of repertoire of movies that we know them for.
Mm-hmm.
Smart choice. It's also cheaper.
That's what I
on
do.
The budget.
That's what. Yeah.
It's
not a big deal.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
How about you?
Yeah, if it were me, my movie will be a little more expensive.
Okay. Hang on, I'm gonna pay. Like, we're gonna pay the kids.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna pay the money.
No, I mean, like,
we're not just gonna round up homeless kids.
Yeah, I mean, don't discount the value of breaking into the industry. I mean, maybe they should kind of like kick in a little bit just to get in on this project. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm thinking too much like a producer. I'm a producer at heart, I guess.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Like, I'll think about it.
They have to buy in to be in the movie.
Didn't that kind of happen with the Little Rascals? Didn't the studio actually adopt the children, and so they actually did? I'm serious. I think the studio actually
like that. Yeah,
adopted
really
the children.
Unethical.
Basically, so they didn't have to pay them.
Right. That's too insane.
It's It's a weird time.
Ugh. Getting back to your David Fincher choice, I really dig David Fincher, and I like his style. I like everything he's done, except for Panic Room. That was a bit of a rough sit through, but from what I heard, that movie went through a million different edits and blah blah blah. But David Fincher, I think, for me, his style is too upfront. Like, his style would overwrite the story for me, because he has a very distinct look. Like, you can just take one frame of a David Fincher movie and I can look at it and be like, oh, that's a David Fincher movie. Even if it's just, the camera panning across a wall, it's still like the David Fincher crisp gray, green, black, and brown, and it's good. I love it. But for me, I think I would go for someone who I don't know. Like, my knee-jerk reaction was Jonathan Demme, and only for Silence of the Lambs. Like, I feel like for me, I would want it in a very clean, no frills style from the director himself. So the director would just take the comic book and just put it on the screen.
Yeah.
If I can't get Jonathan Demme, then I was thinking of then a little bit of it's a little flashy, but it's Richard Bates Jr., who I've never seen anything else except for his one movie called Excision. Do you know this one?
Okay. I don't know if I do, actually.
This movie is super sharp, and it's sharp with the story, and there's some really good imagery, but he doesn't go insane with everything. It's really tight. So I recommend Excision. Check that out. Yeah, so those were my director's choices. Either go like old school clean, or new school, a little fantastic, but mostly clean.
I'm kind of an idiot. I didn't even think about Spike Jonze. I think I would just pick Spike Jonze. Like,
he would do perfect.
Whatever. He just fucking Spike Jonze.
Yeah, and he knows how to do this kind of like weird stuff happening in the natural, normal world. Yeah, like he's good. He would be perfect for that. All right, I choose Spike Jonze.
Okay. Well, we can't both pick Spike Jonze. Oh. We're already making the same movie.
All right.
Like, did you want to combine movies? Did you want to team up and make the ultimate
The ultimate
black hole adaptation.
The blackest hole.
Yeah. Oh man. Did you enjoy the Disney Black Hole? Do you remember this movie?
I really enjoyed it when I was a kid, and then I made the fatal mistake that many of us make. I revisited it as an adult, and that is not a good movie.
It was like Tron, only
even more
nothing.
Yeah, more boring and nonsensical.
Yeah. Like at least in Tron, at least at that time, you were like, "Oh yeah, that's a computer." I don't believe you. You're like it was, like that would have been okay.
Right.
But yeah, the black. Yeah. Oh god.
Wow.
We had the bed sheets though. We had the black hole bed sheets.
Oh my goodness. I think that if a family moved into a house and they had a child, especially a boy, then I think black hole sheets just came with the house. It was just some kind of unwritten law that. I'm glad to know that it was the same in Canada, but same for me. Black hole, for actors.
So,
I
just wanted to say about Spike before we get off the topic of Spike Jonze real fast. Did you see the Where the Wild Things Are movie?
Yes, that was incredible.
I
had no expectations of that, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I think I remember being like rolling my eyes a bunch of times before, like when I first heard that it was coming out. It's like, oh, okay, cool. You're making a 16-page picture book into a feature-length Hollywood motion picture. Okay, right. You fucking assholes. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, you fucking idiots.
Wow.
And I sat there just.
Yeah. Just like cursing your industry trade.
Like, yeah. Every time I'd pick up the entertainment section, I would just say, whatever.
You'd roll it up and slap it on the table.
Yeah, you idiots. Yeah. And yeah, I was like this close to dying like a lonely, like bitter old man. And then I saw Where the Wild Things Are. And I'm like, oh yeah, it was good. In all seriousness, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously good. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. And I
Fair
think
enough.
Spike Jonze' work on Being John Malkovich and this movie would be like, hey, you could do Black Hole. I wouldn't care.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I'd like for him to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So fuck off,
Yeah,
Jonathan
so
Demme.
for you.
We don't need you.
Yeah. What? Yeah. You know what, Spielberg?
Yeah.
Hit the bricks. Hit the bricks, Steve.
Yeah. Go kick rocks, David Fincher. For the cast, for Keith, okay, like I always have a hard time when it comes to casting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I always have to make two lists. Like one is this fictional world where I have a time machine and I can pull people from the past and people that would never do it. And then there's the other list of that's vaguely realistic. Okay, so Keith, I was thinking like a young David Duchovny, like a really young, like a 19-year-old David Duchovny, whom we've never seen in anything because I think he was an adult when he started working.
Mm-hmm.
And or Daniel Radcliffe. And I don't know if Daniel could do it, but that's kind of why I would like to see. That's why I would do it. That I would choose him because my knee-jerk reaction is to think Daniel Radcliffe. Nah. But then I've thought that before, and I really like this kid.
He's been in some big boy stuff.
Yeah.
That's been by which I mean not Harry Potter stuff. That's been cool.
Yeah.
That's been cool. I feel like, and like part of the reason I sort of cheaped out and just said like, oh, we'll just do unknowns is because like I don't know enough about. Yeah, just basically bums.
And we all have a fetish. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
It's just,
if you can indulge in that professionally, all right, that's cool.
Me and Spike Jonze just driving around in our van that just says producer on the side, just like stopping in front of alleyways.
Yeah.
Just pulling homeless people in, driving them off. Here, read these sides.
Yes.
Like, no good, and they just kick him, just roll him out. Van's still moving. No, I don't know enough about the youth
Yeah.
of like the Hollywood buzz kids right now.
All right.
And I think Daniel Radcliffe might be a little on the older side to play any of these.
It's true.
Chumps.
I think we missed the boat on getting him by just a couple years. And but
Well,
there's there's something about like the way
if we're going back in time and you can do a young David Duchovny, then I guess you could just go back in time on the way back,
like on the
top 3 years
yeah,
before.
Exactly.
You know,
I would pick up David Duchovny and then say, "Oh, sorry, Dave. We need to make a stop before we get to the final destination. Dan, get in. Let's go."
We have to get a famous child.
Yes. Yeah, and I think
on the way back. Yeah.
It was Daniel Radcliffe's turn as Allen Ginsberg in Kill Your Darlings.
Oh, really?
That
yeah.
just made me think like he would be a really good Keith for this.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Chris, I was thinking of a young A. McMadsen from Twin Peaks, Shelley from Twin Peaks, and like a billion other television appearances and movie appearances. And I mean, there's no bones about it. I think she's maybe one of the most beautiful people ever born on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like super talented. I think she could really do this, really, really cool and talented. Or now there's, I don't know, I always mess up her name, Maika Monroe. She was the young lady in It Follows. And I really liked her.
Yeah.
I like how she did that. Like she has something, she was not a normal movie teen. She was a very real character. And I really think that would be perfect for Chris, who is, who doesn't, she's the pretty girl and everyone likes her, but then she's got her own issues and she goes through this whole thing and she's got to face some trauma. She's got to face some good things, bad things. And I think Maika Monroe could do it with aplomb.
Mm-hmm.
Eliza was really hard because
if I had a time machine, I know that I would just go back in time and get Uma Thurman from Adventures of Baron Munchausen, because she basically looks like Eliza anyways.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
Nice one. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Would you bring back Robin Williams' head, his floating head? That would make a weird addition to the movie, but what if his floating head, you remember with the Victorian, the Renaissance collar?
Right, yeah.
And like it accidentally got into the van. I don't know why I combined the time machine and your producer van together, but that's just the way I saw it. And you go back in time, pick up Uma Thurman and Robin Williams' his Renaissance sci-fi head just flies right in there. I'm coming with you.
Neil McKay and Spike Jonze in a time-traveling van, traveling across time to make Gen X era comic books into major Hollywood film adaptations. Yes. And we got to go back in time and get David Duchovny before he does something stupid, like get an actual job.
Exactly.
So he can be in our fucking movie.
I
Could you
would
imagine
see that
trying to
movie.
have to explain David Duchovny's career to him?
It's true. Oh, man. Poor Dave. I love that guy. I can watch him do anything.
Have you heard his album?
No, I've heard little snippets of his music, but I have never actually heard a full song. Is it the best?
Kind of like an alt rock, alt country sort of album. It's
right on.
It's way less. I really would have liked it to be a little more ironic. It's not ironic at all. It's just like, hey, I'm David Duchovny, and I'm also a songwriter, and I've written these songs, and I'm singing them with a full band. And it's like, none of these are about aliens. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Like,
oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I could ever really get into it.
No.
But yeah. Anyways,
you need to like hook him up with David Hasselhoff and have the Hoff give him a few pointers on how to really be, a double threat of actor, musician.
You could have David Duchovny, David Hasselhoff,
Yeah.
David Lee Roth, like a bunch of Davids that are still alive.
Yes.
Just all be
The
in a band.
Davids. That's
Yeah.
good.
But call them like like they should call themselves like
The Wall of
the
Jeffs.
jitter. Yeah, yeah, something. Yeah.
The Jitterbug Jeffs.
When I first started a band, my first band, my mom, who like don't even, I love my mom, but my mom has never really been all that interested in anything that I do. But I said, yeah, I'm starting a band. She's like, oh, you should call it the Jitterbugs. like she had thought about it before when she was
my goodness.
like 15.
Yeah.
And decided if I ever start a band,
Yeah.
I'll always remember that. It was one of the cutest things ever. Anyways,
Right.
Who did you pick for Liza? I picked the correct one. Who did you pick?
So for the wrong one, there is either go back in time a few years and pick up Selma Blair,
Okay.
or go back maybe a couple more years and pick up Rosario Dawson,
Okay.
or even a couple more years beyond, before that, and Juliette Lewis. If you wanted to go like a few years more, you can get Charlotte Gainsbourg.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really want to like skip the producer, that's going to be a drain on the budget for the Time Machine. And so if you really want someone now, I would choose Daisy Ridley, who was Rey in Star Wars, the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I think she would be really cool for that.
I like the idea of, I didn't even think about that. It's like, hey, who would you get to play Keith? Jesus Christ. like
Do you know how much it's going to cost to go that far back? Come on, be realistic.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we'll get, I don't know, Caesar Augustus. Yeah. The first man.
Yeah. First man. Oh man.
It's fine. I'm being a jerk while you're trying to tell me. So who'd you get for Rob?
Rob?
Who'd you get for Rob there?
Rob is going to be a tricky one because I don't even know if we have a machine that can do this. But I want young Lawrence Fishburne, but with current Lawrence Fishburne personality. You know what I mean?
You got that from Rob? Really?
Yes. Yes, totally. Like
Really?
he's
Okay.
cool, but
All
he
right.
can also be kind of awkward and a little bit shy, but he's confident, but it's, more facade than substance. But like you can see, like he's like Rob is a really complex character. I feel like it could be because he's maybe just because Rob is actually kind of quiet until he has a few drinks. And so, and Rob is also, I felt like Rob was was he a couple years older than everyone else, I think? Or maybe 1 year older, or maybe that's just the impression I got because he had a goatee. And
He had like a teen goatee for sure. I think he was in the same class because after
was he in the same
moved Chris
class?
up into the woods, he was still going to school.
Oh, right. Yeah, I feel like he just has this like I don't know, this Lawrence Fishburne kind of complexity underneath the surface. But if I can't get that, because that's like metaphysically impossible. That's even pushing the limits of like, what are we going to have? Like young Lawrence Fishburne acting, but then have current Lawrence Fishburne do the ADR and just loop all the lines, or what? That's just ridiculous. Production wise, we can't pay Lawrence Fishburne fees twice for the same dude. So I would say young Patrick Swayze, and if we didn't want to go back in time, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, why not?
I think he would be pretty cool in that.
I think a young John Cusack would do a really great job on Rob as well.
Yes, definitely. Like not even joking. Not say anything. Like Lloyd Dobler level.
Yeah, like that's
You're better off dead. Yes.
I mean, the only thing I prepared for that answer was I would just roll homeless people.
Yeah.
And You know, I got Uma Thurman. I got John Cusack.
Yeah.
You know, even if you want to go through the same pool there, I mean, I do like, you know, you could get like a young John Cryer to play Keith, or you know, even Anthony Michael Hall,
young John
young
Cryer
Anthony
for
Michael
Keith.
Hall to play Keith might be pretty cool.
That's it's all, you know, like it's the exact same personality. It's this young, curious, but still kind of fragile.
And Molly Ringwald to play. This could easily have been a Brat Pack
yeah.
movie. Yeah.
It's just the breakfast hole.
Yeah, the breakfast. Well, can you please start a restaurant with me?
Sure. Let's do it.
Man, that's on my bucket list now. If I win the lottery,
Yeah.
I'm starting a restaurant called The Breakfast Hole for no other reason to see how long it would take before it just went completely out of
Yeah.
business. Like, who in their right mind would go there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, if you had to, like, if you had to kind of like like in the producers, speaking of producers, what if you were charged with the task of ruining and like destroying a whole production, as in the producers, the stage play, where they have to make just the most bananas thing, and all the worst choices, but then it ends up being the best movie anyway. What would your take on that be?
Is this a result of all of our time traveling? Because
Yeah, probably.
like whenever you make a decision, like there's like an opposite decision exists in a different.
Right. This is
So maybe there's like a rival
counterbalance.
band.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Man,
this is the karmic
movie's gotten
backlash.
way better. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a director,
Yeah.
This can't be too. It can't be too obvious. Like you can't say anything.
Yeah.
Like Michael Bay or
Right.
anything. A part of me really wants to say Yuri Bull.
Oh wow.
Because he.
That would
Okay,
almost
Yuri Bull is off the table
Yeah.
for
Anything.
for answers.
For
'cause
yeah.
that
Yes.
wins. That just wins everything. I don't know, cause like a lot of the directors that I don't think would do, like that I don't think would do a really good job have done really good jobs on. Like I was thinking of like, what's his name, McG,
Right.
who did like.
He came across my mind
Like
for this as well.
Yeah, he did Chuck and stuff like that as well. But like
Oh, yeah.
he's actually done some good work.
Like what?
Here and there. And like
Like
he
Charlie's
did
Angels
Chuck.
too.
Like, he did that. No, he did the whole television show Chuck,
Yeah.
which was a great
okay.
series. Yeah.
I think I've only seen a little bit of it. Not enough to pass any judgment on it. It's good.
We had a lot of fun. We
Okay.
had a lot of fun.
All right.
You know what? I might just dip down in the vault and say, I know, Tim Burton
Oh wow.
would
Okay.
fuck this movie up.
He would really destroy this, but it would be
Yeah.
glorious to see.
It would be the worst thing ever. But yeah, I would absolutely pick Tim Burton.
I think it would be the worst black hole adaptation, but it
Yeah.
would be maybe a really great thing to behold, just as a moviegoer. It would be totally insane.
I don't honestly, dude.
Yeah.
I really don't understand how people fucking like Tim Burton. I really, really do not understand. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even from the beginning.
No,
Like
he did
even
a
from
couple of good
Pee Wee's
shows.
Big
No,
Adventure days.
No, Pee Wee's Big Adventure is a weird fucking movie,
I
man.
love it.
And like
Yeah.
I love it too. But you go back and you watch it, and it's like something weird's going on here.
Yeah.
Like but anyways, yeah, no, Pee Wee's Big Adventure
Mhm.
is cool, and then Beetlejuice is cool, and
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands is cool.
Totally.
And I do like Batman. I do like Batman and Batman Returns. I do like those two.
I don't like those.
You
Sorry.
you didn't even like Batman Returns?
Not really. I think when it gets to that and stuff, I feel like Tim Burton is an incredible production designer.
Mm-hmm.
Or he has the best production designers, or he has great communication with production designers and atmosphere. But beyond that, like as a whole, as like the movie as a whole, I just don't dig it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
Mhm.
I can see that. I don't know. I'm a Keaton man. I'm a Keaton Batman.
He's my favorite, for sure. He's my
Yeah.
favorite Batman and Bruce Wayne. He's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, no, sort of like beyond that, everything that he's done, it's just been like, are you fucking kidding me? Like this is garbage. Like I don't understand how you keep on tricking people into letting into allowing them to
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I don't fucking understand how anybody could like Tim Burton.
No, it's
After
pure.
Batman
It's pure
Returns.
spectacle in a really nonsensical way. Like I don't understand it either. I feel like, wow, that's a lot of money that we could have used that somewhere. I will say, Big Eyes was a really good movie. I wasn't expecting that to be such a good movie, but everything else, like his big productions, I feel like I just really like. I enjoy seeing how deep this ship can go, sink into the ocean while still on fire. It's a really great thing to just see how brutal he can destroy a story.
So the other one of his that I actually do like is Big Fish.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think people have to stop giving Tim Burton spooky things and then and letting him make a movie out of that. Because no matter what movie you give to him, he's going to make it a little kind of like quirky. So stop pre-quirking the movies he's making.
He'll quirk it himself.
Yeah, he'll quirk it himself. Don't worry about it.
And
Like
also,
fucking-
let's
no.
tighten up the purse strings a little bit on this dude as well, because it seems like, and I don't want to be a whiner or something, but when he didn't have so much of a budget, maybe it's coincidental, I don't know, but when his budgets were smaller, the movies were a little tighter and a little weirder and cooler. But then when Hollywood started, giving him the keys to the vault, it seems like things just, the wheels started coming off.
Dude, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is one of the worst fucking movies that's been made in the last fucking 25 goddamn years. Like, fuck that movie.
Uh-huh.
What was the stupid one? The Shadows one. What was it called? Where Johnny Depp's it's based on the old.
The TV
it's based
series.
on the old TV series. Yeah,
Dark Shadows.
Yeah, fuck that movie.
I didn't see that one. I can't comment on that.
It was
The Alice in
really
Wonderland.
bad.
That one was.
I didn't even bother.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna do that.
Okay.
Fuck him.
Wow.
Fuck Tim. Oh, I get so fucking mad.
Wow.
Fucking hate Tim Burton.
Okay, so
Anyways,
Tim Burton is the one you would choose to.
Yeah, I think so.
That's your springtime for Hitler for Black Hole.
Yeah, he would just drive it into the goddamn ground. Yeah, good work. Yeah, absolutely. Let's make the beds out of chocolate. Whatever, fucking idiot.
And who would your cast be? Thanks. Anyway, but by the way, thanks for the memories, Tim. We're not all doom and gloom over here on you. We we had a few good times. Just don't want, I don't want to be such a bummer.
Yeah. Oh wait, sorry. I'm getting a call from Tim Burton's
Yeah,
Tim Burton's office here.
Yeah, a cease and desist before this even goes up.
Yeah.
The authorities have been notified.
Yeah. Yeah, cast. I don't know. It's kind of really hard to say because I don't know. I don't want to just sort of handpick bad actors.
Right.
But I don't know. I think you'd almost want to pick actors who are almost kind of like 50-50 on whatever performance they were going to give. Like, we talked about it with Season of the Witch, but like Nicolas Cage is either amazing,
Yeah,
or he's either amazing, good amazing, or he's amazing, ridiculous amazing.
yeah,
And I could cast a young Nicolas Cage as Rob for sure.
oh yeah, without a doubt. Like
Yeah.
Valley Girl, Nick Cage.
Yeah,
Totally.
straight up. Yeah,
I love Valley Girl. That's a good movie. Sorry, go ahead.
I think I would cast Judge Reinhold, a young Judge Reinhold, as Keith.
Right on.
I'm just getting that vibe from
All
it.
right. That's a gamble. You don't know
Yeah.
how Reinhold's gonna handle that character. I like Judge Reinhold, but it's true.
I
like
love
for such
Judge
a
Reinhold.
such a
I think I
touchy
was just
character.
making fun of Judge Reinhold. You know what? I think I would cast a. I cast a. Actually, you know what?
an
I
old
would
Judge
move-
Reinhold.
I would cast. No, you know what? I would cast Anthony Michael Hall as Keith.
Uh huh.
I'd cast Ali Sheedy as Chris.
Oh man.
I don't even give a shit anymore.
Yeah. Obviously. Clearly.
And for Eliza,
Emilio Estevez.
I did like your Juliette Lewis. I did like
Oh, thank you.
Juliette Lewis. I think I would cast Juliette Lewis as
For the Bananas version.
for the Bananas version.
All right.
Only because, like, I don't know. She's been in some really good movies, and she's been in a lot of really good movies that nobody's fucking liked.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I just feel like by having Juliette Lewis in your movie,
Yeah.
chances are it's not going to do so well.
You're adding
And
a
it's
wild
not her
card
fault.
contingent. Right.
Yeah, it's just a wild card. Yeah.
Right on. For me, if it were me, I would. Let's see. I went for people that are super talented for their own specific rights, but not for adapting this kind of material.
Okay.
So I would take this, and I would. The first thing I would do is hand this comic book to Paul Schrader to do an adaptation of the script,
All right.
and let him just jam pack it full of all of his fucking weird issues and repressed nonsense. And then once he's vomited up some kind of really crazy script for me, I hand it to one of two directors. Whoever answers the email first. Dominic Senna, whom we all know and love from Gone in 60 Seconds. Or
And Rob Reiner.
right, Dominic Senna, he's a wild card director because he did Gone in 60 Seconds, but he also did Season of the Witch, but he also did fucking California.
Yeah.
And so who knows where the chips are going to fall once you hand it to this guy. Or does Harmony Korine answer my email first? We'll never. I'm not sure. Does he
We'll
bring his?
literally never know. Yeah.
We will literally never know. Harmony Korine bringing his sensibilities from like Kids or Spring Breakers. Who knows? Like that's another one. Like I love Harmony Korine. I think his movies are really good. Could he adapt Black Hole? I'm sure he could. Would it be the Black Hole we know from the book? I have no idea what that movie would be if he did it. I just know it would be a spectacle to behold. For Keith, we've got either Keanu Reeves or Danny Trejo. I'm not sure. Again, whoever answers the email first. Danny Trejo adds like a different...
You're making me really, really... I've already said what I've already made my decision, but you're really making me. I didn't think about Keanu Reeves, and then I just started thinking about all of the other actors that just every time I've seen them in anything, they just do such an like Lou Diamond Phillips.
Oh, Lou Diamond Phillips! Shit. Okay. We might have to revisit the Black Hole Part 2 because Lou Diamond needs to be in this. LDP up in the business. All right. For Chris, I was thinking maybe Kristen Stewart because usually I'm not a huge fan, but sometimes you need Kristen Stewart to do what she does. And maybe that might work here. I don't know. We'll literally never know. For Rob, either a current Matthew McConaughey or a young Dennis Leary. Or maybe a young Matthew McConaughey.
Or a young Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. I wanted to go back in time and put him in the good one. A young Paul Rudd would also be a good Rob. Like if he were to do like a serious turn as his first movie. Other than Halloween 6, the masterpiece that is.
Yeah.
And Eliza, for the Bananas version, either Yolandi from Die Antwoord or Bjork.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's my Bananas Black Hole version. Banana hole.
Just take... I don't know. You know what? I think I was putting too much thought into it, and like after I said Rob Reiner, I'm like, what the fuck? How would Woody Allen do on a movie like this?
Ugh.
Like, how would Stuart Gordon do? I love Stuart Gordon.
Yes, that would be a completely different movie, but it
would be totally insane.
It would be I think it would be a faithful adaptation. Just it wouldn't focus on nearly the same things that we focused on while reading the book.
No.
All the
Paul
same
Reiser.
lines would be. Yep.
Yeah.
Paul Reiser. Did you just say Paul Reiser?
Paul Reiser, yeah. He's directed some stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant like as Keith or something.
No, I mean, actually, a young Paul Reiser would actually do not too bad a job as Keith.
Yeah.
I like Paul Reiser a lot. I do like Paul Reiser. Yeah.
He's a sympathetic fellow.
Yeah. So, anybody who might have been upset by my Tim Burton comments can sort of, balm their wounds with my Paul Reiser comment.
Yeah.
And if you don't like Paul Reiser, we don't want you listening to Big Human Dead.
Right?
I think that's...
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Come on. Yeah. Were there any... going back to the actual book, though, like, were there any... were there any parts that you really... that, like, really, really stuck out for you? Like, I mean, obviously, like... Yeah. You've read it a couple of times. Like,
right.
Are there any moments you just remember every now and again? Almost like scenes. I guess scenes is what I'm trying to say.
The dream sequences, I think, are particularly effective because I don't know how he put it together. It's just a 2-dimensional plane. It's just ink on paper. But he got it. He got the way dream sequences go. And he like interpreted them into a physical 2-dimensional design somehow that works.
Yeah.
And the other scene that I think was super effective for my own brain and the whatever issues or childhood or longings or whatever that I have that I harbor. The scene where when Keith meets Eliza in the kitchen. This scene that's like a, I don't know, it's something that I really relate to on like a emotional level somehow. Of I've had that situation play out not nearly as successful as Keith's was, but still just as awkward, and it's something I always kind of wanted to happen. And granted, like she's naked and she has a tail, but I don't know. I feel like this scene was so memorable for me because it still has all the awkwardness of, I'm sure you've got a memory that's similar to that. We all have a memory that's similar to this, being in a strange house where we don't actually know the people that live there so well. And then we meet someone who's super interesting. And, in this one, in Black Hole, Charles Burns kind of gives all of us a cathartic like passage, like Keith actually manages to stutter out the right words at the very end, and Eliza, accepts him, and they have this moment, and it's really cool, and it's a very limited moment. It's it's the time is really short, it's finite, and like this scene. I'm just going to repeat myself a few times over if I keep on going.
No, you're right. Like, and there are a lot of these little, maybe not a lot. There are a number, anyways, of these little riposts, anyways, in the book where things seem to go the character's way, but because you're a little bit older reading the book, you just sort of realize how fleeting these moments really, really are. Yeah. Like when Chris and Rob sort of cut class and drove down to the beach. Right. And like spent the night like under the stars, whatever. That was a part that similar to you with your kitchen, like that was a part that kind of really resonated to me emotionally as well. But obviously or I knew, because I'm a fucking grown man now, like I knew that, like, hey, cool, yeah, wonderful, like they're gonna be happy for like a good, like, cool, like 3 or 4 hours, like that's awesome, exactly, this is great. And then things are gonna be twice as bad when you get home. But it was just seeing them kind of do it was cool. Like it was these moments from adolescence, and like that's the best part about this book, I think, is that it's a collection of moments and like these memories that kind of we all had.
It's true. And it's not standard storytelling. Like I think a standard storyteller would set it all up to be cool, and then good storytelling dictates that you're supposed to sweep the feet out from under your character just when they're about to succeed in something, and you have to torture your characters. But with this one, Charles Burns, he does it very realistically. Like everything that all of our memories, it's not all bad memories. No one has just only bad memories. There's some good ones in there too, and like you said, like these characters in this book, they have these riposts, these moments that are really cool. And then there's moments that are really shitty and suck. And then there's a lot of moments that just are. They're just in between. They're moments in between good times and bad times. And I really like that he just kind of threw them all in there.
The only thing I would say to that, and the only part that I don't quite agree with you, and because when Rob's murdered, that totally like,
was awesome,
like knocked me, it tossed me for sure, because like he and Chris were just talking about all of these plans, and like reading the book, I was like, oh yeah, they're clearly gonna plot to kill Chris's parents, Like that's what's gonna happen, you know. Or they're gonna say fuck it and they're gonna just drive away from there. You know? No, and like the next page, Rob gets hit in the face with a lead pipe.
Right.
And then he gets hit in the face like 6 more times.
Yeah, and Chris has no idea.
And then that's literally it for Rob, and Chris is just living in the woods now. Like that's just what she does. You know, it was so I think by the time it gets over that tipping point, things go from realistic to totally surreal after that. Like there was just like the mass murder and just all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I mean, for the most part though, it's very small and it's very contained, and it's just just like little memories, kind of like, I don't know, almost as you would prefer to remember them for the most part.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Until it just goes totally fucking bananas at the end. And but yeah. Anything like you're the illustrator of the two of us. Like, how do you like?
I don't understand how he did it.
Art,
yeah. It's only black and white. There's really no line work in it. It's just solid black and white. Like there is line work, but it's very simplistic line work. And he uses like these, like fanning kind of. I don't know. It's very deliberate. Every line is super deliberate and very clean, and I don't actually know. Like I've studied the book itself as just purely on illustrations, and it's crazy because there's daytime and there's nighttime, and it's all very clear when it's daytime and when it's nighttime, but there's just huge swaths and areas of black, just black. But you still know what's what. There's depth. I think it's at the risk of sounding like way too over the top. It's really masterful. The artwork is masterful because there's depth. There's delineation between night and day. There's inside and outside. There's clearly shadows that everything has atmosphere. But it's a completely it's not a realistic art style. But everything is like when I'm reading it, I'm in it. Like it's unfolding in my brain as if I'm watching a movie. So as an artist, as an illustrator, I have no idea how Charles Burns pulled this off and did it consistently from panel to panel all the way through a few hundred pages. So.
Probably
a little bit of practice. He did a couple sketches beforehand, prep himself for it. A couple doodles.
I think it worked really hard, Rob. Like I think.
Yeah, like my style is so different from his, but I'm really kind of jealous that there's people like George Burns. I'm jealous that there's people like George Burns out there.
Oh, there we go. Go back in time.
Yes.
Don't get a young George Burns.
Okay. Was there ever a young George Burns?
To play Rob. Get a 103-year-old George Burns.
Yes.
To play Rob.
Yeah, but a young Gracie.
Yeah, a young Gracie. Yeah.
And as a writer, what parts stuck out for you, if there are any, or what elements did you get snagged by?
I don't know. His characters are so well done that it didn't matter that for a good bunch of the book, anyways, there wasn't a clear narrative. Like I really wanted these characters to get what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked how there wasn't this predictable hero's journey kind of story arc thing going on. It was, for all the reasons that you said, that you were saying, it was just like some things that happened. Not all of them were bad.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were downright great. At one point, Rob says that this is the best day of my life, and he meant it, obviously.
Right.
And that's nice. I always like it when people are happy and stuff. And but yeah, for the most part, it's just they're miserable teenagers, just being miserable teenagers, and no, not a hell of a lot happens.
Yeah.
So, I really, really like that. Especially with all of these, with so many comic books you read, they're all about superheroes doing big, important things. And it's always nice to read a series where, like, not a hell of a lot happens.
Yeah.
Like, in the best way. In the best way, not a hell of a lot happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think it'll be fun to do a few more of these.
Yeah.
I know there's a few that I want to do.
Yeah, and there's a couple I want to do.
Yeah,
all right.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So yeah, we'll do another. We haven't decided what comic we're going to do next week yet, so chill out, everybody.
Yeah. Chillax for a second. Take a
Come
chill
on.
pill.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Speaking of cutting edge, don't have a fucking cow, all right?
Yeah, right? Yeah, and let us know what you thought about Black Hole at bighumanddead@gmail.com and WaterlooGN on Twitter and on the blog and all that rigmarole.
All that stuff. And yeah, I'll when this goes up, I'll remind Rob to put the short film.
Yeah. From Barry Sanders. What's his name?
Yeah.
From Rupert Everett.
Rupert something or other. Rupert Sanders. Yeah, Rupert Sanders.
Yeah, Rupert Sanders.
Yeah. But yeah,
who would Barry Salmon play? We need a part for Barry.
You always have to bring that. You brought up Twilight. I didn't bring up Twilight.
I brought up Robert Pattinson. You brought up Team Eddie.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
And tell a friend.
Yeah. Tell a friend.
Yeah.
Provided they like Paul Reiser. Ask them, hey, do you like Paul Reiser?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I like Paul Reiser.
Okay.
You'll love this podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Then drop the big human dead bomb. But
yeah, then
like Paul Reiser is like the keyword, the password to get in.
Back in my acting days, I actually worked on a television show produced by Paul Reiser.
Really?
And I was really excited because I don't know why, but I thought that he would be on set that day. I was really excited that I might be able to meet Paul Reiser. He wasn't there. He wasn't there.
Oh, shit. Motherfucker.
But so I got close. I got close to Paul Reiser.
Right on.
Our names are probably on the same piece of paper somewhere.
Oh, snap. What was this thing? Can we find it online somewhere?
I've actually looked for it every now and again, not because I'm vain, but just because it doesn't really exist anywhere, I guess. It was I think they called it a micro series. It was called Love Bites. And
Bites like BYTES, and it was about like a computer programmer who lives in the basement. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm not.
No, that sounds like a way better show than what the fuck this show is about. Okay. The show is called Love Bites, which BITES.
Oh, okay.
For any of you taking notes. But so it was each episode was approximately 2 minutes.
Wow.
And it was meant to play between syndicated episodes of Sex and the City that TBS had just acquired.
Okay.
And the entire television show was financed by, I think it was Pantene Pro V.
Wow.
So and I get Paul Reiser and his friends, I guess.
Okay.
Or it was just him, I don't know. Had put together this show to do that. So it was about this girl who would, like, I'm going through my quarter life crisis. So she's 25, so she doesn't have fucking anything to complain about.
Yeah.
All the wacky stuff. So I was all of the roles I used to get were just sort of like awkward nerds. So
really?
I was like So
Okay.
I was like
That's
an
funny.
awkward nerd in an elevator. Like who was like I was like I had a cough.
That was your line?
was trying-
Cough?
She was trying to like somebody was trying to ask her out on a date, and like 4 weird people,
Mm-hmm.
3 weird people and me.
Okay.
But 4 people got into the elevator, all with like various like ailments. So I had like a cough. Like one person had something stuck in their teeth. Like it
Ew.
wasn't a good time to ask someone out on a date.
Did
But
you
yeah.
did you try to like flex your acting muscles and get noticed with your cough or something? Or really do something outside the box with your line?
No, because that was no, and there's a reason, because like that was the first time I had ever been on set, and I was like, this is an awful way to work. and
Okay.
live. Like everyone here is miserable,
Right.
And like I'd seriously at one point I actually went into the corner and like danced, just to like keep my energy up
Oh man,
and get my mind.
that's rough.
Try to remove my mind from like the rest of the cast and crew, because everybody was very grouchy that
Ugh.
day. I guess it was a very stressful work day
Weird.
for everybody. I guess it was really weird. But Paul Reiser produced it,
That's cool.
so Paul Reiser's seen me.
Yes, he knows you.
He hasn't seen you.
That's true. That's. I mean, that you didn't have to put so much punch into that line, but it's true what you said, that he doesn't know me. All right.
All right. Well,
He hasn't seen me. So with that, I guess this conversation is over.
I guess that's the end of Big Human Dead. I guess.
That's the way you want to play it. You wanna-
If that's how you want to do it, that's fine. But yeah, anyways, thank you everybody for joining us
Yes.
this evening. And yeah, we'll be back next week to talk about another book.
Yeah,
Thank
something
you
cool.
very much, Rob. Yes.
Thank you, buddy.